My name is Mack Reiter from Gilbertville, Iowa, and I was the 13th person to win a state championship 4 times in a row. I started wrestling when I was 4 years old. I had an older brother, Joe, who was a year and a half older than me, so he was 6 at the time. And my dad took us up to a practice, and we loved it. I think that one of the weekends after, he took us to a tournament that I remember they raised everybody's hands. I don't know why that's always kind of stuck with me, but everybody won. You know, I was 4 years old wrestling, but after the match, both kids got their hands raised, and we just, as a family, we've never stopped. Wrestling was the only thing I ever did. I played baseball until I was like 6th grade and decided that wasn't going to be a future. And I found something I loved, and that's all I ever wanted to do. I wrestled 11 months of the year and always took 1 month on the summer off to kind of refocus and get myself ready for the next season. I always believed I was going to win 4 state titles as a kid. You know, that was the goal, that was the plan the whole time. There was a couple bumps in the road. I know my freshman year, at one point in my career, I was 3-2. I had 2 losses right away in my first 5 matches, and things were looking pretty bleak. But I knew I had to focus. I knew I had to just keep working as hard as I possibly could, and good things would happen. And I was able to kind of, fortunately, get on a roll there and have finished off what I had always planned on doing. Wrestling was a lifestyle. It was everything to me. It was the most important thing in my life outside of my family and my faith, but it was what I believe I was supposed to do with my life. I felt that at an early age that this is something I could be good at, and I put everything into it. I didn't want to sacrifice any of my time with wrestling by going out and doing another sport or doing something else. I wanted to make sure I was going to be as good at wrestling as I could possibly be. I don't know that I had anybody I looked up to. I know just watching my brother, he got second in state as a freshman and as a sophomore. And in his sophomore year, he lost in overtime in the finals. Well, my freshman year in the finals, I go to overtime, and there was kind of a dispute over a call. So at the end of regulation, so their coaches are over with the ref, talking to him at the head table. So there's a break of about 30-40 seconds there before we started overtime. And the only thing I could think about was how painful it was last year to watch my brother lose in the finals in overtime. And I was just determined that wasn't going to happen. I was going to find a way to get a takedown in overtime and win that first title. The biggest difference between me and Joe is that I had somebody there to go before me. You know, I got to watch how he prepared for the state finals his freshman year. Learn from his mistakes. You know, in that match, he wasn't prepared to. After the Grand March, there's a long award show that he was ready to go right after the Grand March, and all of a sudden now it's 20 minutes of awards that drag out. Now you're out on the mat. You know, he kind of overworked himself up a little bit, I believe. So I was able to learn from that mistake. And then the other thing was luck. I mean, to win 4 titles, you've got to be lucky. You know, there's a certain aspect to it, and I was fortunate enough to be there. My name is Mack Reiter. I was the 13th 4-time state champion.